Hi, welcome back. It's Anna. All right, just like the title of the video says, it is my 2024 journal and planner lineup. So I'm going to just jump right in because I feel like I've got a lot to share, even though my systems really aren't changing all that much. So if you're a longtime follower, you know that I love my Hobonichi Weeks Mega. I've been using it for years. It's my planner piece, basically. It's my favorite planner for all of my personal, at-home, family planning. Everything goes into this. This is my life right here. And this I'm replacing with another Hobonichi Weeks Mega. And I didn't get a new cover on cover. I'm basically just going to keep the Constellations one, and I thought that would look nice with the navy. It's a little sad because not sad, I guess. I mean, I like the navy. It's just that the Weeks Mega never really comes in fun designs or anything. It always comes in just solid colors, and some years the solid color choices are not as great. And I think this one was pretty much like the only one I really liked. So, and I thought it would look nice with the cover on cover. So that is going to be something that I'm going to be replacing with a new notebook. And this category is pretty much all the things that I am replacing with a completely new notebook, but the system does not change. I've talked about this before too. This is my A6 Hobonichi Doraemon cover, which I use as my food diary because I am diabetic and also currently pregnant. So I'm having to keep track a lot of strict meal planning, insulin intake, insulin changes, medication changes, things like that. And which is going to change to postpartum and all that. But this is with a Kinbor notebook, which is a dupe for the Hobonichi. So it's a similar setup where it's still got that day on a page, which gives me the full day where I can write down meals, symptoms, changes, everything. And I love the Kinbor. It's a very affordable dupe that you can buy on AliExpress for a fraction of the price. And because I'm only using it for just writing down food and things like that, I just didn't want to spend all that money on another Hobonichi, because in the past years I have gotten the A6 Hobonichi Techo, and I don't know, just for what it is, I just did not want to spend that money. So this past year, I decided to try out the Kinbor, and it really worked out. So I am getting this one set up soon. And in the front, I also like to put in my doctor's notes. So anything that I have changing, A1C history, I love just kind of like writing that all down so I can see that every time I get my blood drawn, what my A1C is, if it's going up, if it's going down, all that stuff. And that's kind of how I use the front pages, because otherwise I don't really use the monthly for anything. So that's just kind of blank pages for me for doctor's visits and when I speak with my dietitian and all that. And then obviously the rest of it is just for filling out daily, which is something I do. So that's another one that I am replacing with a completely new notebook. And then this is another Kinbor, and this is a new system that I did add this year because I started doing a lot of writing because I'm trying to self-publish. And what I wanted to do was have a planner separate from my personal planner and keep track of writing courses and how much I'm writing. And so I was doing masterclass, I was doing Publish and Thrive with Sarah Cannon, and then her HB90 course. So I was kind of tracking that in the monthly. But then also in the weekly portion of it, I was just tracking word counts and Camp Nanos in July and April, and then NaNoWriMo during November. So it's just kind of like a nice little catch-all for all of my writing progress and just seeing where I'm making time in the months that are busy or not so busy, just kind of seeing where that data is. It's nice to see when I'm busier than others, and when I can fit in those pockets of times of writing. So I decided to get another Kinbor Weeks planner, similar to the Hobonichi Weeks. And I actually prefer this format a lot more than the Hobonichi, mostly because it doesn't have that space on the bottom with all the quotes that take up, you know, what could be just more planning space. So in that, I actually prefer the Kinbor. And this is a kind of like a coffee bean one that's a hard cover. This is a soft cover. And I decided to get the nicer one, I guess. And I really like it so far. I'm gonna set this up pretty soon. It's also got the blank pages in the back, so that's really nice. So very similar setup. I enjoy it. If you're looking for a dupe to just try out the weeks, definitely recommend the Kinbor on AliExpress. Sorry if I'm out of breath. I'm just getting to that last few weeks of pregnancy, so I'm just constantly out of breath. And then onto the bulk of things that are just kind of ongoing for me. I mentioned in my Instagram posts, if you follow me there, that I carry this duo with me in my purse pretty much everywhere I go. I have a Camel Traveler's Notebook that I use for to-dos, things that I need to transfer into other planners or notebooks. And I'm just basically reusing an old insert. And I think it's like the lightweight paper one. But I'm basically just using this as like scribble paper. So if I need to remember something, if I have a grocery list, I'm out and about and I need to write something down, I just have this with me. And then it's got a Star Trek medical notebook for no other reason other than I love Star Trek. And I did include lots of like journal bits, so if I do need to keep busy somewhere while I'm waiting, I do have some bits, so like little stickers and easy to stick on things for journaling. More or less just kind of like my little playground for keeping my hands busy. But I do have this, and it gets nice and lovely and scratched up. So that's been really nice, and it's small enough that it doesn't add too much bulk to my tote or my purse. And then because my daughter started school, I did need to have something that followed the school year planner rather than the, you know, from January 1st to December 31st calendar. So I got a 2023-2024 Moleskine Pocket Weekly, and this has been really nice. This is something that I, at least this size, have used in the past. I used to use just the, you know, January 1st to December 31st pocket planner before, but so this is not as a new system for me as others, but I'm very familiar with this. I love the Moleskine for kind of just having this like pocket planner system. I like that it's just black, basic, and it's got just all of my planner stuff that I like to have on the go. I don't want to open it because it's got a lot of personal information in there and doctor's appointments, but this has been really nice to have on hand, because if I'm out and about at a doctor's appointment, I have to reschedule. If I have school things that I need to plan, extracurricular activities that my daughter's in, it's all in here. And I did create kind of like a dashboard thing to have my pen loop on, because I bought a pack of these and I liked the idea of having a pen loop close by, but it added a lot of bulk to this and it would bulge right here. So what I did was create this out of cardstock, and then I laminated it, stuck the pen holder on to keep the pen that I like to keep with it there, and then I can slip it in and out if I need to without adding the bulk. So, and then with this, I keep the Sarasa Dry 0.4 pen. I've been really into using like finer tip pens for a lot of my planning now. And that is my to-go system. More ongoing journals. This is my Hobonichi A6 5-year journal. I'm on the 3rd year, so I've got 2 more years to go. And this is in a custom monogrammed cover that I just bought off of Etsy, and it's got the built-in pen loop, which I keep just a, is this a Gingham? Yeah, this is a Gingham fountain pen, fine nib, extra fine actually. And I have it inked up with the Atramentis Document Fog Gray ink. And I found that when I switched from a medium fountain pen to an extra fine, I was able to write a lot more in the grid portion of it. So that really was a nice little discovery that I've had in the past year. And the color just happened to kind of just go with the notebook cover. So this actually stays on my bedside, and I'm still using it. I love that. I'm really glad I invested in that. My personal planner changes, but currently it's the Traveler's Notebook standard size in camel, which is my favorite. If you're a longtime follower, you know I love this thing. It's well used, it's scratched up, it's dry, it's got a lot of personality to it, and I love it. And I just recently started using it, so I've got a lot of pages in my 013 insert, which is the Tomoe River like lightweight paper. So this system has not changed. It's still got all the same little folders and pockets and things like that. And I always go back to this every year. Even if I switch over to a different notebook once in a while for journaling, I still always go back to this one. So I'm counting this as an ongoing journal for next year. And then I have my standard size olive, which I know they came out with the newer one. This is the original one, so it still has that Traveler's Company one from like that first iteration when it was like limited edition. This is currently my pregnancy planner, so I am tracking all of that weekly in here. And then my plan is that once this is filled up, I'm going to turn this into a journal for my second daughter. And I did journal for my first daughter for her first few years of life, and I plan on doing that with my second. And so I get to use this beautiful cover for that, which I'm very happy about, because I don't know, it's just because I go back to this journal cover so much that my other covers kind of get neglected. And I love the olive. I love the olive so much. I love it almost as much as I do the camel, but I never really get to use it. So this will give me an excuse to have that out and you know, give it some good use rather than have it sitting around. So that will be ongoing for next year. I have my, what is this? This is a Stalogy in here. This is an A6 Hobonichi cover. This is actually my very first Hobonichi cover. And then on the inside, I have just an A6 Stalogy, which I turned into my commonplace book. I've mentioned this before, I think. I kind of have the dot key system inspired by Rhiannon here on YouTube. And I'm not in here daily. I'm not even in here weekly. Honestly, this is just kind of my little place to play whenever I just find something fun. And I stick it in randomly, quotes from books that I love. And kind of gives me an excuse to do some journaling without having to journal in my personal notebook or something. And I don't have to think about it. I just kind of like stick things in, you know, copy things in. And it's kind of been nice as like a catch-all for all the stuff that I like screenshot on my phone. So I was able to empty that out. And like all the stuff that I save from Instagram, and I can just put those images in here. So I like having this system for that. And then because I have so many blank pages, this will take a long time to fill up. Another ongoing one is my writing notebook. I always love writing in this size, which I think for a Moleskine is called the Kahir size. But it's not a Moleskine notebook. This one is an Amazon Basics. So for many of you, you've heard me rave about the Amazon Basics notebook, which on and off is, you know, unavailable. So I'm very sad that I think as of right now, it's unavailable. I wish I had stocked up more when it was, because recently this year, they restocked, and for a while it was like, okay, they're back. And then, I don't know, 2 months later, they were unavailable again, and they're not sure when it's going to restock. But I love this notebook because the paper quality is great. It takes ink very well. It takes fountain pen really well, even. But I usually just use a Sharpie S-Gel pen or my Sarasa Dry pen on it, and it writes so smoothly. It takes ink so well. I always get the blank pages because I just like the freedom of just no formatting. I can just write whatever. I can stick pictures in for inspiration, but I use this for all of my creative writing, story ideas, scene ideas, plotting, everything. I always have one of these notebooks going, and this one is still fairly new, which means that it'll carry me into the next year. But I like this format because it's got the band, it's got the pocket in the back here. And then I did something similar with this as well, is have the dashboard that I laminated with the pen loop that I can slip in and out of without adding that bulk if I don't want that in there. So I always have a creative writing notebook around. And then I have my reading journal. You've heard me talk about this before. This is an AbigaleCrafts cover. I don't think she does the Alice in Wonderland cover anymore, but when I saw it, I had to have it because this is what I use for writing all my book reviews. And in this, I have an A5 Stalogy, and that's just where I keep all my book reviews. And that is ongoing, obviously, because that'll take me a long time to fill up. And then I have a stack of notebooks that I want to show for, like, ones that I plan on using this year. Just because I like playing around with notebooks. I love my Traveler's Notebook, but I don't know, I'm just a writer at heart, so I always like going back to just journals that are similar to what I used to use before I discovered the Traveler's Notebook system. And this is just kind of similar to things that I used to use way back in the day before journaling became this like sensation on Instagram and social media. I have this Cider Mill Press Ernest Hemingway notebook. I recently bought this. I'm a big fan of this brand. They have nice kind of faux leather cover notebooks that are, I don't know, similar to A6 size. I think it's a little taller. Yeah, it's a little taller than the A6 size. But it's still kind of nice and handheld. I like it. And they base the interior on writers. I think there are some other fields that they cover too, but I really like the writers genre. So there's like Emily Dickinson, Edgar Allan Poe, James Joyce. You get to pick. They have them. And this one's Ernest Hemingway's. He's one of my favorites. So within the inside, you'll see like photographs of them, their story, pictures of their handwriting and quotes, which I love. But I love overall that it comes with blank pages as well, so there's just so much freedom to play around with it. I may not necessarily do personal journaling in this next year, just because with the newborn, I'm going to be bulking it up with so many photos, but I do want to use this notebook for something, so I'll figure something out. And that is one that I plan to use next year. This is an example of what I used to do or journal in a lot way back in the day, is just go to Barnes & Noble, splurge on a nice leather notebook or leather-ish looking notebook with beautiful paper on the inside. This one, I believe, I bought this a while ago. I think this one was from Amazon. This one is, I think, faux leather. Or maybe it's just got like a very thin leather with like a paper backing on it or something. But I liked the clasp on it. And then I liked that it had the 5 signatures with all this blank paper to fill. Once again, my only worry is that I'm going to be bulking it up with so many photos that this clasp will no longer be useful. But I've had this for a little bit now, and I do want to use this in the next year. And then another brand that I love going back to is the Paperblanks one. This is, I think, slightly larger than an A5. But I was drawn to the kind of illuminated manuscript cover. I bought this, I don't know, mid-year at a local bookstore. And what I love about the Paperblanks ones is not only are they beautiful covers, but they've got that band. They have that pocket in the back. This one is Inferno, Dante's Divine Comedy on it. I was just really drawn to the cover, and that's the reason why. I love having this just sitting out on my desk. It does have the lined paper, which I'm, you know, if you know me, not too fond of, but I love the cover so much that it inspires me to want to use it. And then it's also got the built-in bookmark, the somewhat marbled, speckled edges. There's just something about this notebook, because it's so beautiful, that I just want to use it. So I'm excited to add that to my 2024 lineup. And then I did splurge this year. I don't usually buy like new covers from the Hobonichi line, but I love black and white gingham. I got the cover. I got a new cover on cover for it. It's got that nice Tiffany's blue interior, and I have no purpose for this. So this is kind of like an aspirational, like, I want to use it for something, but I have no idea what. I did think that maybe I would, I don't know, replace my Doraemon cover, give it a break, and use it for my food diary, but I'm very attached to my Doraemon one, and I go back and forth with trying to find an excuse to start a new notebook for whatever reason, just so I could use this cover, because that really kind of goes against the functionality of how I journal. But I'm almost willing to do that just for this cover. Isn't that silly? I don't know. What do you guys think? Because I'm very attached to my Doraemon cover. And once the system works, I tend not to change it too much. I tend not to want to switch it up in any way, just because, you know, you don't want to mess with it if it isn't broken, right? But there's just something about this black and white gingham. I don't know. I really want to use it. So I have this hanging around on my desk out in the open, just waiting for something to strike so I can use it. There we are. That was my my big splurge this year, I think. And then this is Aspirational too. This is a, what's the brand? I got it on Amazon because it's supposed to be a dupe for the Moterm Smart Fee. I think it's Smart Fee off Amazon, which is half the price of a Moterm planner. And the reason why I got this was because I didn't want to spend the money on a Moterm, because I have tried with ring planners years ago, but I sold my Kikis because they just weren't a system that I was into. But I love the thought of the ring planner system. I love the look of the ring planner system. I envy people who have a working ring planner system. And I really tried with this one this year. I bought it earlier and I really tried to set it up, and I had different kinds of inserts on it. I mean, I even bought the 2024 calendar. Like, this is the 2024 calendar, because I thought maybe I would use this as my to-go planner. And my big gripe, two big gripes, is that it is bulky. It's really heavy, and it doesn't even fit all my personal information that I want to carry with. And then second is that if I did want to have all that information in there, it doesn't fit everything. And And then there's also the whole, like, do people store these inserts? Do you keep them? What do you do with it? How do you store them? What do you do with that when you're done? I struggled. I think I set this up maybe 2 or 3 times this year and no system worked. I was pulling bits from other ring planner things, you know, because I had like a Filofax wallet, so I was pulling like inserts from that and blank papers, and I tried meal planning in here. I don't know, I just can't get it to work. So it kind of sits on my shelf pretty because I just love the look of the black crock. And yeah, I imagine I'll probably set it up 2 or 3 more times next year trying to get it to work, and only to have it fail and go back to this square one situation. So this is Aspirational. Not even part of my 2024 lineup, but I just wanted to mention that I have a want to get it to work. I think a lot of people have that with planners. I don't usually, but the ring planner is like the only one that I ever aspire to want to make work. Even though I have planner peace with my Hobonichi. So I hope people understand. I know there's got to be people out there that understand. So that is my whole lineup. Lots of notebooks. It looks overwhelming, but it isn't, because okay, it does look overwhelming if you actually look at it from my angle. There's a lot of things stacked up here, but they all serve a purpose. I use them. Nothing is wasted, and I'm happy about it. If you have any questions, let me know. I will list all the things that are mentioned here, but I did want to get my next year's lineup up before baby comes, and filming will probably be a little bit sporadic. I mean, I guess it is now, but I did want to get this up before the end of the year. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're getting excited about planners and new notebooks and freshness and starting resolutions and things like that, because I sure am. And I'm going to be getting my planner set up this week. That's my big goal. So anyway, I hope you're having a great day, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.